Welcome to another episode of Behind the Catch Fence. I'm your host, David Hoffman. The IndyCar Series season is just around the corner, so we have one of the series' top stars joining us ahead of the opener on the streets of St. Petersburg. Today, AJ Foyt Racing driver Santino Ferrucci is our featured guest. Santino, thanks for taking the time. How you doing?
Thanks, David. No, it's been a good off season. Excited to get started here again soon. So can't wait to get to St. Pete. Currently just getting some simulator stuff done during February and a couple of tests coming up.
A lot of exciting things happening, obviously, with AJ Foyt Racing. You guys, especially you, had your best season in IndyCar last year. You finished ninth in the standings, boatload of top tens. How much excitement is there just to get this season rolling and to pick up where you left off?
Yeah, there's a ton. I mean, we really found a momentum last year towards the end and just hoping that, with this off season and all the personnel changes that we had on the mechanic side, we can keep that momentum going into St. Pete and just keep building on some of the races that we knew we could have had better results at.
And as someone who's been with AJ Foyt Racing the last 2 years, how have you seen a shift in the team from a confidence and just positive vibe standpoint that that you've had more consistent results?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's cool working for a small team too, especially like AJ Foyt. Everyone really enjoys when we have success. Portland especially was one of those race weekends where everybody kind of came together and it was a huge team success. It wasn't one anything or one little piece in particular there, but no, everyone's been working really hard this off season just to make it everything better. And with the team going up to Indy and everything flowing with Penske and the alliance and all that stuff, and all the engineers working together, it's been awesome.
And you mentioned the alliance with Penske. That's still fairly new. How have you seen that sort of, I don't know, evolve and kind of morph into where both sides end up benefiting from it?
Yeah, I think it's a big thing for both teams. Obviously, you saw Penske benefit at the 500 during qualifying, and then you saw us benefit on all the road and street courses and short ovals. So, it was definitely one of those things where we are very fortunate to be in the position to be working with them and learning off of some of their engineering staff and what they're doing with their drivers. It definitely wasn't as plug and play as it looks. It did take us a good half a season to figure out how to utilize everything correctly. And, that's when we really started to pick up our pace and improve our results. So, going into the second year of all of this is going to be very exciting. Still brings on a new set of challenges. We have a new teammate, David, as well. So that'll be fun for us. Like I said, there's just a lot that we benefit from, and hopefully they benefit from as well.
As a driver, how do you feel you've been able to really improve and really showcase your talents compared to other seasons in the series?
I think it's quite interesting, the last 3 years of my career, or four rather, looking at my time at Ray Hall, just jumping in a car and finishing in the top 10 consistently, to just running Indy and filling in for drivers. Then we had our first season at Foyt, where the only race we did well at was Indy. We put the car in the leadership circle, which was a big goal, and it was difficult to do. And transforming that team throughout the 2 years and putting them into positions to win races together, like at Iowa or Milwaukee, and even Portland with the pole. Just it to see that progression for me as a driver working with the team and bringing that continuity and helping with the engineering staff and mechanics and stuff. It's definitely been a lot. It's been a lot of fun to watch too and to grow with them. So it is exciting to see it all come together, especially with this season coming up.
And I found it kind of interesting. You've kind of created a reputation for being the show at times, especially on ovals and making these daring passes and whatever else. I mean, how do you calculate those passes? I think of Milwaukee all the time here when I ask this question. Yeah, just how do you trust yourself and the car enough to do that consistently?
Uh, I think a part of it is when you're making passes is just confidence. Like I know who I'm racing. A lot of people were upset with how I raced at Barber on the road course. But the reality of it is if you can complete a pass before you get to the apex, it's your corner. And having that philosophy in Milwaukee, the problem was if you undershot a pass, you ended up hurting yourself more than if you overshot one. There were times where I definitely backed it in to trying to pass people, but most of the times I completed very clean passes, and everybody else would just back out of the throttle. So it's kind of more old school style of racing people. And yeah, it was more frowned upon, but got to move through the field somehow.
And I'm sure it helps running the Chili Bowl every year with that too, maybe getting comfortable. I guess how do those running a midget at the Chili Bowl versus, doing an IndyCar full time? How do those sort of translate and helps you on Sundays?
Yeah, I mean the midget is everything happens so quick in that car. The track changing evolution, the way that, you never really think about setup with the midget, which is nice versus the IndyCar. You're always, it's the same line every time. You're trying to adjust the car to your driving style every time to make it better. Versus the midget, you're just trying to chase the track and the condition and yourself. So, doing the dirt racing, I really get to work on my driving style, my racecraft, my heads up on watching a track evolve, and just working on consistency. It's really hard to be consistent in those cars. They're just everything happens so quick. So then jumping back into an Indy car, yeah, they're faster in a straight line. They do 240 miles an hour versus the midget. You're probably doing 80 inside the Chili Bowl arena, but at the rate of speed things are happening in a Chili Bowl car versus Indy car, it really slows the Indy car down. So just being able to adapt back to the IndyCar and, feel like I have more time mentally is pretty awesome. Also, the racecraft in the midget is runs a lot like Milwaukee or Gateway or anywhere where, you have to diamond these short ovals, even Iowa. So that's why reasons why I feel like I prevail on tracks like that when you need to pass and, no one's passing anybody except for us.
And you mentioned a little bit ago about having David Malukas come in as a teammate. How's that relationship been for you, and what do you feel he brings to the table?
No, I think it's good. It's good having David come join the team. Obviously, he's done pretty well in his couple of years in IndyCar, so it'd be exciting to see how he does here at Foyt. Was definitely excited to see how he did in a McLaren seat. So kind of curious. Obviously, unfortunate circumstances for him, but honestly, I was kind of in a similar position with Ray Hall a couple years previous. So to be honest, it probably ended up both better for us, brighter side of the coin there, being for or driving for Foyt. So it took me a little bit longer to go to year three, but no, at the end of the day, I'm excited to be working with him. He's a good dude, good teammate. I think having him working with Andretti previously, and then or in Shank, and then coming into our alliance with Penske and Foyt, I think he shed some good light on things that they did, things that we're doing, and trying to make our program better. So it'd be exciting to see what happens when we unroll in St. Pete.
And final question, what do you feel is possible for you and your team this year, just from maybe results standpoint or, obviously being able to build off of last year?
I mean, I got laughed at in the face when I told people I think we can go for a championship um, in Nashville. And I truly believe that. I think that if you count us out, you're horribly mistaken. I mean, we were third in oval points for the year. Our back half of the second part of the season, we were one of the strongest cars consistently week in and week out, all round, like not just at one place in particular. So I think if anyone wants to count us out, they forget that championships aren't just about winning races; they're about consistency. So we only DNF two races last year as well, and that's something that you know we need to be mindful of going into this season. One of which was a mechanical in Indy GP. The other one was more out of my hands, flying off of Pato into a catch fence. But at the end of the day, finishing races inside the top 10, inside the top five is what's going to win a championship.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember it. every single time I would hear someone say, Ferrucci, but yeah, it's funny because then every single time you go out there, just snag a top 10 finish, whatever else. But it's been really cool to see you guys really grow and, yourself as well, coming from coin a couple years ago to now. It's cool to see. But hopefully everything goes really smoothly this year. And hey, maybe we'll be talking to you again here at like championship weekend or something. But
Yeah, fingers crossed.
yeah, I appreciate taking the time, Santino. And yeah, good luck again this season.
No worries. Thanks, David.